Always a born loser, in all ways. An Untold Story by ERAGON. Book 1. Childhood Days. 0 to 12. Book 1. Chapter 2. Memories of Childhood. One by one, my uncles and aunts started to raise their own families, and moved out of my grandma's house. Thus, left with only my family, my grandma, and my youngest auntie and uncle, who were still schooling. My aunt's favorite pastime after school was doing embroidery on saris with beads and sequins. I became her little helper in gathering the beads and sequins. Maybe, due to this, I was a very creative and crafty kid in school. After completing a sari assignment, she would make a sale out of it to the neighbors and friends. From the money she earned, she would give me a treat of ice kacang, shaved ice with yummy syrup and filled with goodies like grass jelly, red beans, sweet corn, and seasonal fruits, and chendol, shaved ice with palm sugar, green jelly, and steamed glutinous rice. I was her favorite pet as she treated me like her younger brother. Thus, I too always addressed her as sister. Ha 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 ha, for some time, I really thought that she was my sister because she and my own sister were just born a few years apart. In the old days, it was quite common to find aunties, uncles, nephews, and nieces around the same age. My aunt was the whole world to me. We had an orphan living in with us, who took care of my grandma's house and needs. She was my best buddy, and we always climbed the rambutan trees to pick the juicy and luscious fruits. Not forgetting the guava and mango tree too. My grandma's house was huge, and had at least 6 bedrooms. Surrounding it had a lot of land space, and thus the cultivation of these seasonal tropical fruit trees. Soon, we too moved out of my grandma's house, but we were just a walking distance away only. Daily, my best buddy would come and bring me over to my grandma's house. I would spend the entire day there, until my dad picked me up after work. What I liked most about walking over to my grandma's house were the row of provision shops in between. My buddy would always buy me snacks to eat, and I would share it with her gladly. It was time to go to nursery school. My aunt had completed her high school education by then and was working there as a teacher. Thus, my parents gained me admission there. In fact, it was quite near my grandma's house too. To add to the joy, my other cousin from my mom's side was studying there too. Going to nursery school was a fun time. With my auntie and cousin there, it felt like I was at home. We even had cooking sessions, with the guidance of the teachers. Thus, maybe this was what made me to like cooking and baking. Life was going on smoothly, until my dad got a transfer and promotion back to Singapore in 1969. I was filled with tears as we were moving. I was going to miss everyone I loved in Taiping. My dad had promised me that, every school holidays, he would send me back to be with my loved ones. The day came for our departure. We were at the Taiping railway station, the first area where railway tracks were laid in Malaysia's history. As a child, my heart was torn. I was crying profusely, whenever the thought crossed my mind, that I would not see my loved ones in Taiping for at least 6 months. After hugging, kissing, and receiving a lot of gifts, I boarded the train with a sad, heavy heart. I never talked to anyone throughout the whole journey, except maybe to eat my snacks and food. Seated in the train were my dad, mom, and brother. My sister did not follow us as she was about to complete her high school education, and my dad did not want to disrupt her studies. My first taste of being a born loser came at an early age. It came in 1964 when I was born. In 1964, Singapore and Malaysia were united as one. Only in 1965, they separated themselves as individual countries. Those who were born in Singapore in 1964 or earlier, were made Singapore citizens by birth. Just my luck, that my dad had to send my mum back to Taiping for maternity delivery. thus, causing me to taste the first bitterness of being a born loser. Thank you for listening to this Born Loser's life history. Till we meet in the next chapter, lots of love and take care. If you found this story inspiring, or relating to you in some way, or plain old amusing, please like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon. I can be reached at ERAGON070164@gmail.com.